That's fucking teamwork.
Yeah, it is teamwork. I got way too excited to start the show. Hey, what's up? It's the Huff. I haven't played that soundbite in maybe a year or so, but it's one of my favorite sound bites. It's from it's Lover Gently by Tenacious D, Jack Black's band, and it's just a classic clip from that song. And the history behind that is, well, real quick, let's play it again.
That's fucking teamwork.
I love it. We used to play that when it was Mike Evans and Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt, former CU Buff quarterback, and now on FS1, he's like one of the main guys. He's a stud, okay? But anyway, before he was like super big time, I used to work with him. We used to just, have a good old time on the morning show, and he is the one that introduced me to Tenacious D. Hilarious music, and I just like them. They're rock, or metal more than anything. But that song, we used to play that snippet, but I used to bleep it out and say, "That's bleep teamwork." And we ended up getting in trouble by the general manager of the Denver location for the radio stations, because we play that, and then I'd also play super edited versions of their songs as intros, and it'd just be riddled with beeps. And I would do that a lot, and the guys would react to it and laugh about it. So I do that one day. This is before the general manager knew really what we were doing. And the guys had a tense segment, and I thought, as the producer, to lighten the mood, I'll come back with some Tenacious D. And again, there's beeps everywhere in the song. So I do that. But Mike and Joel are just still apparently red hot about their previous segment, and they completely ignore the song. So it's just a bunch of bleeps, and you know what the hell they're saying, but they're bleeped out, and they ignore the song. So it's just sitting there. This excellent joke just fucking sits there like a stale fart. After the show, I get called into the manager's office, and I was reprimanded for playing that because of them. If they would have reacted to it, it would have been hilarious, like they do all the time. Oh, I was so irritated. Then we had to remove all the Tenacious D from the computer system. So when I play this soundbite, it's a tribute. This is just a tribute. Oh, I love Tenacious D. But it's a tribute to those times, and it was hilarious, but I got in trouble for it, and I blame Joel Klatt and Mike Evans.
That's fucking teamwork.
Not the good kind of teamwork in that situation. Not the good kind. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. A lot to get into. Real quick, hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. And remember, today's show is presented to you by Kirkwall Group, as well as Game Time PDR, and of course, Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. Now, they got the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to betonline.ag right now to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. It's BetOnline. The game starts here. Every now and then, I just assume one day my equipment is just going to shit itself. That's what's going to happen. I just, like, as I'm reading that commercial, I hear this in my ear. It wasn't, I think it was just my headphones relaxing now that I dick with my headphones. But one of these days, it's just all of a sudden I'm going to be like, well, fuck, it's broken. Anyway, so sorry, side note, jeez. Before we get into headlines, I told you guys that I have a 9-month-old puppy. We're still potty training her. We just got her. I don't know, like 3 weeks ago. She's doing much better. But the one problem we have, and again, we don't know how long she was wandering out and about by herself. They just found her wandering in a field, and somebody picked her up. Like 2 days later, they picked up a similar dog. So it's like somebody's like dumping these dogs out in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, so I don't know how long she's been trying to survive on her own. And I think what ended up happening with that, because she was underweight when they found her. I think what was happening is she would eat her own poo when she would uh, live on her own when she was on the streets. And the reason I think that is she eats her own shit still, and like she's getting fed twice a day, the good stuff, right? But it's funny because I was telling my wife this morning. It's I woke up around, say, 3 o'clock in the morning to let her outside to make sure she didn't have an accident, because we're still having issues where she'll, uh, you know, poo in her kennel. She does a great job going into her kennel. She doesn't pull a fit on it. She doesn't sit there and bark or whine or anything. It's just by the time the morning happens, even if I let her out several times, she's going to shit and piss in there. Anyway, so it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I take her out back, and I'm just sitting out there or walking around with her. So she goes to the bathroom and she poops. I'm like, yeah, all right, you poop. And then she goes to eat it. So I just imagine somewhere somebody heard me yell at, like, say, 3 o'clock in the morning in my neighborhood, me going, don't eat your own shit. God, quit eating your poop. It's just funny because I'm like, somebody had to have heard that. Like, somebody wakes up in the middle of the night, like, who's yelling not to eat shit? Good dog, but ew, so disgusting. It's a good reminder, though, for our kids. Don't let an animal get close to your face. One, they could bite you, but two, they could eat their own shit. And then you don't want shit tongue all over you. I don't know how many times I got to tell you guys, a tongue covered in shit is not your friend. Okay, don't get it. Don't get it. Oh, so gross. Now you're thinking about it like, wait, what is Duff talking about? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. Anyway, you know what we need to do? Jump into the headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
Man, we've talked about this before, and this time it's some different creatures. People are always trying to smuggle some sort of animal, some sort of like reptile, whatever, into different countries. Well, this time we're in what is it? South Korea. I can't remember if they're coming or going, but either way, this dude got busted for having 300 tarantulas, around 100 centipedes, and 9 stinging bullet ants, all in small plastic bags in a girdle strapped to them. No. Here's what's crazy about that. I'm reading that, and like everybody, all the articles written about this, they're focusing on the tarantulas. Yeah, they're tarantulas. Okay, they're not gonna hurt you. But you know what will hurt you? The fucking bullet ants. Those things, when they bite you, it's like getting shot. That's why they call it a bullet ant. The fuck? Screw the tarantulas. Could you imagine if like one of those bags breaks? He's like sitting there on the plane because they missed it. And he's sitting there. Ah! Ah! What's wrong with that guy? I don't know. Maybe they didn't have any ginger ale and he's upset. Ah! All these bullet ants biting him. Oh my God. That's terrible. That's so terrible. Could you imagine being the security people going and digging through all this stuff? And they're like, you're smuggling all this stuff for what? For money. You realize what will happen if you get, bit by one of these things. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. And then the security guys are just looking at him like,
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
you are a stupid asshole for that. My God. Bullet ants. Let me see real quick. Bullet ants are, there's a guy that, yeah, those things are huge too. Let's see. Paparona calavata. That's the actual name. They are not while their venom is not fatal to humans, the intense pain from the bullet ant bite can make a person feel as though they wish they could die. Ugh. Ugh. If you got bit by like all of those bullet ants, they said like maybe you could die. Either way, you could just like have a heart attack from the pain. Fucking idiot, man. No offense, but you are a stupid asshole. I love that soundbite. This is so bizarre. So freaking bizarre. British police are asking the public to please stop chasing the loose emu that they're trying to catch. Could you imagine getting in trouble for that? It's so dumb. Excuse me, sir. Oh, wait, no, they're British. Oi, stop chasing the emu. That's just making it worse.
If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
Oh, shit, Betty. Sorry. You know that would happen around here, too. There's my wife, she has a friend, Liz, that's the same way. They see a stranded animal or an animal that's wandering about, they got to go rescue it. Whereas I'm the opposite. Be like, no, call animal control. We don't have room for that shit. But my friend, she's definitely going to be like, nope, we're rescuing it. It's an emu. Rescue the emu. There's going to be a bunch of people. If there was a loose emu around here or a kangaroo or a fucking tiger, there'd be a bunch of people going, oh, let's rescue it. Here, kitty, come here. Mama's gonna feed you. The emu, though, I think can fuck you up. I believe they have some nasty claws or whatever. The tiger would be interesting, although it would be very easy to catch.
Din din. I want chicken. I want liver. Meow mix, please deliver.
So awesome. What are you going to do if you catch the emu, people? Oh, shit, we got it cornered. What are we going to do now? Fuck, I don't know, Carl. I thought you knew. Take off your clothes. See if it likes your wiener. The fuck's wrong with you, Carl? The hell? That's the dumbest idea. But I'll try it. I don't know why I went down that path. I apologize. More than 20 riders were suspended in midair for 2.5 hours at a Knott's Berry Farm ride. And after it malfunctioned, this was yesterday. This is a Southern California theme park. They were on the Soul Spin ride. It had some technical difficulties, and they were suspended. Thankfully, they weren't upside down, but they were rescued. But boy, that's fucking terrible. I had a soundbite to go with it, then I forgot to pull it out. Hold on. This is not awkward at all. Not awkward at all. There we go. Thankfully, they weren't upside down because otherwise, whew.
Excuse me. Your balls are showing. Bumblebee tuna?
Bumblebee tuna? Bumblebee tuna. What is up? When you guys hear these stories about, I want to say this is like the 5th time this year that we've talked about it, but I think there's plenty more of theme parks just breaking down with people on them, does that make you not want to ride on theme park rides like this? I don't like them anyway. This is just making my decision for me. I just, do you want to go on them? Is this pushing you in the opposite direction of the ride? Nah, you know what? No, I'm good. I'm good. Don't want to die today. There's a podcaster that I listen to, Mr. Ballin, does a great job, great storyteller. Although I used to like him because he would do these bizarre stories of like, ooh, I don't know what happened. Like I'm into stories of the unexplained, but he leans on mostly now murder mystery stuff, and I don't like that. But back in the day, he used to do a lot of stories like the murder mystery, and every now and then he would bring up some like disturbing stories though that I've heard where people going where they're not supposed to at a theme park and getting their head ripped off by somebody's foot that was on a roller coaster or some shit like that. You don't fuck around on roller coasters. And then when they malfunction, that's just, I don't like that. I don't like it. Don't get why you I don't get why you people like riding on those rides.
What do you mean, you people?
The weirdos that like going on shoddy freaking roller coasters. Do you ever go to one of those, pop-up theme parks or fairs and you see like smoke coming from the track, or you're watching the track and it's just like, it doesn't look like it's very well put together because they're constantly taking it apart, moving it from one city or one town to another. No. Don't do that. It's ridiculous. Why hop on a death trap? Now, that be kind of back what I was going to say is Mr. Ballin talks about all these, or not a lot, but there's a few people that die, but it's because they're going into places they're not supposed to go in theme parks. You don't hear very many stories about people that die on the ride because the ride malfunctions. But that being said, I feel like we're inching closer and closer to that because this year, like I said, right around 5 stories that I've discussed where rides, there's people stuck upside down. There's, people just, stuck high up on the tracks and stuff like that. Eventually, don't you think that that's going to happen? I want to say like last year, there was a pillar on one of these tracks and it was completely busted. And then they didn't realize it. And then they had to shut it down when somebody brought it up. It's like, holy crap, man. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going on a ride anytime soon. If for some reason Elitch Gardens was like, DeHuff, we want you to come out to open up our new roller coaster, I might do it, but I'm going to scream to the point where I pass out and hopefully miss the entire ride. That's what I hope for. Be like, ah! And then there's video of my head just plopping around. But I'll miss it. And then I won't throw up, most likely. Don't like it. Don't like those things. 1 in 5 people in the United States get their news from social media influencers.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
Yep. Indeed. I tweeted that out. And who responded? Josh and Matt responded with, yeah, you're the only place I get my news from, which is, sad. It's sad on their part. Not a good idea. You're making a bad life decision if you're getting your news from me. That being said, I dig into the hard-hitting conversations, right? Let me see what they said. Michael said, I get all mine from a guy named DeHuff. See, Michael's just smart, though. I get it. Let's see. Oh, Yeah, this turned in from Josh. This turned in from Josh and Matt saying that they get their news from me, tongue in cheek, basically, to them talking about how I have a face for radio and I'm ugly. They're joking. They fucking better. I'm gonna tell my wife, and she's gonna be so mad at you guys. Okay? I wanna feel pretty, dickheads. Matt said there's no camera tricks that can help the huff. Anyway, that's disturbing that so many people get their news from social influencers. I've noticed it on TikTok. I'll see something, and it'll be something that we've talked about on this show. And like a few days later, so it's on TikTok or something like that, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, that's not fucking true at all. They're just, you can tell they read the headline. Now, that being said, if you're going to do that, you got to make it obvious that you're not reading all the facts and you're just making some hilarious assumptions. But there's a lot of times people don't. That being said, there's some people out there that do a good job. If you want news information, you should go, honestly, if you're looking for hardcore information, go to the source. You should be, that being said, that the source is harder and harder to find. It's harder and harder to, sorry, I'm on Twitter and it's just playing videos. It's harder and harder to find truthful information because it's so easy to spread misinformation. We've joked about that before. We could say that there's a study, I'm hearing rumors that if you, as a guy, if you drink Red Bull, what's going to happen is your testicles, if you drink more than 3 a day, what will happen is your testicles will shrink, but your penis will sprout another head. So I don't know, which, are you fine with that? I want a double-headed warrior between my legs. Yahoo! That's gross. But if you have enough positive information around, or not really information, if you sell it good, people are going to believe it, even if it's just complete nonsense. There's that birds aren't real started as a joke, and there's still a chunk of people out there that think that that's real, that, you know, their birds are fake and they're actual surveillance devices. That's what happens. You know, people believe it. People think the world's flat, and there's people that will fight you tooth and nail on that. And that, I didn't realize that until one of my, I don't know, within the first 100 episodes, I did something where I talked about flat earthers. And it was interesting. That was before I got into, you know, a more structured show, talking about, you know, headlines and having more fun. I was a little bit more serious, I guess you could say, in a weird way. But I still had fun with it. But that being said, the flat earthers, I was playing audio, I was digging up interviews and stuff like that, and I don't understand it. But that being said, they on YouTube especially, the amount of flat earthers that came after me, they're like, you don't know shit, you're just taking the word of scientists. And I'm like, yeah, highly educated individuals, I'll take their word over some guy that works at Chick-fil-A and then also dabbles in his mom's basement on looking up conspiracy theories. I don't need, who am I going to go with? Huh? The guy that's obsessed with the dark web, or somebody that is into actual science and facts and studies, mathematics, all that stuff. So it's funny. But that being said, I can somewhat see their perspective. That being said, I believe the world is round-ish. It's like roundish. It's not. I believe it's wider. The diameter of the Earth is wider at the equator than it is from pole to pole. I believe that's correct. So it's not. It's kind of like a squished ball slightly. I believe. I'm not smart. I just remember reading that somewhere. And again, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true. It's got to be true. One of you scientists out there, email me, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com, or hit me up on my socials at dehuffpodcast. Tell me if I'm right or wrong on that diameter thing. And then also, if there's any other random science news you want to pass along, please let me know. Let me know. I like learning stuff. I think that's fascinating. I actually got my son to listen. Guess what his new favorite podcast is besides mine? It's Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm very excited about that because he's listening to it. And those guys, Neil deGrasse Tyson and his co-host Chuck, they're funny, but they're talking science, and he's enjoying it. This is great. I love it. Now, some of their jokes go over their head, but I'm excited about that. It's not nonsense. It's not nonsense like this. He's actually learning something. So I'm excited about that. Hey, we got more coming your way. We got plenty more. But first, if you're running a business and need help with the back of the house, you need someone with experience and is trustworthy. Listen, as somebody that used to run restaurants and stuff like that, it's hard to manage all that. You got, dealing with employees, you got all this other stuff, and you're like, oh, crap, I got to deal with the paperwork. Paperwork's a pain in the back end. Well, you know what you need? You need Kirkwall Group. With over 30 years of experience, Richard and the Kirkwall Group understands that you and your business deserve someone who's efficient, timely, accurate, cost-effective, and focused on your success, as well as working to save you money. Kirkwall Group can help you with your bookkeeping, accounting management services like CFO, controller, accounting manager, projects and support, as well as tax planning and preparation like income, property tax, sales, and use tax. What you need to do I'm saying all this, but what you need to do, because they do more than that, you need to check out their website, kirkwallgroup.net. Again, kirkwallgroup.net. See everything they can do for you in your business. And what you can do is, under the contacts, you can set up a free 30-minute consultation with Richard. Richard's one of the best guys you'll ever talk to, and he loves helping people. That's the one thing that sold me on this relationship between Kirkwall Group and the DeHuff Uncensored podcast is, as I'm talking to Richard, he's like, I just like helping people. And that's not something that he told me to throw in there. That's just me being honest with you guys, is he wants to help you, and he likes doing what he does. He's a numbers nerd. He's a numbers geek. Whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, he's a good guy that wants to help you and your business succeed. So what you need to do, go to kirkwallgroup.net. Go on there, look at everything that they can offer, then contact them, and Richard's going to help you. Again, kirkwallgroup.net. Kirkwall Group, we count what counts for you. Oh, this drives me nuts. You see it every now and then, and you're like, dude, people, like, I've seen videos of people doing a video where they're kicking rocks and rolling them down these big hills. People got in trouble not too long ago for doing this in Utah at one of the monuments out there. Like, it might have been at the Arches, but they're like rolling rocks down, just because, hey, it's so cool to roll a rock. So ridiculous, just to get views and whatnot. Well, a similar situation of people just assuming that the world revolves around them is Machu Picchu tourists caused a big nationwide backlash because this lady decided she wanted to spread somebody's ashes at the monument. Come on, man. I get it. You're trying to respect your loved one's last wishes. But that's just a dick, selfish move. Think about if everybody decided to do that. How much damage that can cause to the landscape, to whatever area you're doing it. It's like, come on. That's one where you just say, like, if my buddy is just like, hey, Dov, can you spread my ashes, on the Lincoln Memorial? I'd be like, sure, buddy, sure. I'm not gonna fucking do it. What are you gonna do? Haunt me? No. And if you do, I'll be like, listen, bro, we need to have a conversation. I only said that because you're dying. I'm just trying to be nice, but honestly, I don't think the consequences are worth it. And then we'll start arguing. And he'll be like, what do you mean the consequences? I'll be like, I don't want to get arrested and, have that go on my record. I'm not going to see my kids for a while. Got to pay fines. It's just not worth it. Just not worth it. Then he's like, you're a bad friend for doing what you did. And then I would say,
I didn't do fucking shit.
So dumb. So dumb. All that story just to play that soundbite. You're welcome. You are welcome. No, but seriously, I don't appreciate people that do this shit, especially the spreading ashes. I get you're trying to respect your partner, your loved one, whoever's final wishes, but that's kind of a dick move. I know people do it all the time. Like, take some of my ashes and put it in this waterfall or something beautiful like that, even though it's like against the rules or whatever, and you do it. It would be hard, in all honesty, if it was something secluded, but it was quote unquote off limits. Yeah, I'd probably do it, or at least do a little bit of it. But come on, man. Come on. Because, like, if you see that, if you're on at Machu Picchu and you see some lady with a big old urn that's about to just dump that shit everywhere, you want to look them dead in the eyes and just be like,
You want to feel how hard I can punch?
they'd be like, I'm sorry, what now? No.
If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
Oh my God. I don't think I would do that. It depends. I guess it just depends on the location. It depends on the location. If it's up in the mountains here in Colorado, there's so many beautiful areas around here. I can't remember the place that's around here that's really beautiful. I mean, I would maybe do it something like that, but when it comes to like a historic site like Machu Picchu or anything like that of that level, no, man. Plus, in the video, it's like windy, so like everybody's getting covered with dead people. That's just not cool. Be like, oh my God, Aunt Carol's in my mouth. No, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up so bad. This is not something I would expect to happen. I guess in a weird way it makes sense. I'm not a wine guy. Not. If I drink wine, it's white wine. And to be honest, that's only like if I'm at a wedding. If I drink anything that has alcohol in it, it's going to be beer, whiskey, or tequila. That's it. And there's only like one tequila that I'll drink, and that's Suavecito, because it's fucking money. So freaking good. So good. Bill is awesome. He's the owner of it. But anyway. So the reason I bring that up is Pizza Hut is now selling wine. And this is how they label it, as far as the flavor goes. An aromatic blend of fresh herbs, and spices with rich, sun-ripened tomato notes and a subtle hint of toasted oak. I don't know. I kind of want to try it. because they said it tastes similar to pizza. I mean, I want to try it, but here's what's jacked up. It's $25 a bottle, and it's a minimum purchase of 2 bottles. So I have to spend $50 plus tax to try some shitty pizza wine. I don't know if I like that. Also, I don't know, maybe if I was single or didn't have kids and I could justify shitting away money, because I feel like this is kind of a way to shit away money. Oh, that would be a great, uh, like, what is it? A white elephant gift this year. Buy wine, pizza wine from Pizza Hut, and put that in your gift bag, because everybody's going to want to try it. I can't imagine it tastes that great, though. I want to try it just to say I tried it, but I can't imagine being the guy that hammers a bottle of pizza wine. That's designated for grandmas out there. Can you imagine that? Hey, Mom, Grandma's all hammered on pizza wine, and and she just ate the whole, pepperoni and black olives. Grandma, what do you have to say? Christ, she's drunk again, and she's screaming like a goat. Goddamn grandma. Would you guys drink that? I don't know if I would. Ooh. Oh, gross. You know what we need to do real quick? Let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls. No, it's not an invitation to a Diddy party.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with the Huff.
Hopefully this is the last time I bring up this guy's name for a long time, but I had to bring it up because it's kind of making some news. As it goes in today's society, if somehow you go viral for being sexual in any way, you will get an offer from some sort of porn site. Case in point, Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, got a $250,000 offer from a porn site after his bare ass shot went viral. So there you go. If you're craving Iron Mike to lay the pipe down, hey, who knows? Who knows? I feel like $250,000 for somebody of that level is not worth it. If it was $1 million for Mike Tyson, he'd probably do it. I don't know. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. And real quick, somebody brought this up. A model brought this up. Mike Tyson's butt went viral. And it was all over Instagram, unedited and all this stuff, right? If a woman does the same thing, it gets removed and you get notified. Like, you can't do this. You do this again or a couple more times, we're going to remove your account. Isn't that weird? They're like, oh, it's Iron Mike. He's fine. He's not going to hurt anybody. It's just him showing off his butt. But if it's an attractive woman's butt, and you're like, oh, take it down. Oh, that's so offensive. Oh, it's weird. So weird. I'm just saying, free the ladies' butts. That's it. Free the nipple, free the butts. Cowboys Stadium had a piece of sheet metal fall as they were opening the roof last night before the Monday night game between the Cowboys and Texans. Just a giant piece of sheet metal just falls. Prior to the game, of course, thankfully. It almost hit somebody. I don't know if it would have caused too much damage, but it depends on the sheet metal. A lot of times those sheet metals are pretty fucking sharp, so not something you want to be hit with. Might not smash you due to weight, but it could cut you. But it's just the optics of it is classic Jerry Jones. What kind of shit stadium does he have? Blah, 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 blah. Opens up the roof for the first time in like 2 years. And then shit starts falling off of it. Man, then somebody jokingly on social media was just like, well, I guess it's time to build a new stadium. No. Jerry Jones is stupid. I don't think he's that dumb, but you never know. You never know. But the optics of that, the reason I bring it up is the optics are that it just goes along with the shit storm that is the Dallas Cowboys. It's just add it to the list that they're just kind of a joke right now. And it's got to suck. It's got to suck to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. I feel bad for Cowboys fans because you got an owner that is more concerned about being in the spotlight, spending the money in the ways that will make it look like he's trying, but in all honesty, he's just making a joke out of the franchise. I think the best bet for the Dallas Cowboys franchise is for Jerry Jones to step aside. But sadly, guys, that's not going to happen until he passes away or is forced to for, health reasons other than death. Right? So sadly, I don't see things getting better for Cowboys Nation. And I know several Cowboy fans out there, and I feel bad. But that being said, I've been there as a Bronco fan. Not as bad, though, as the Cowboys. Cowboys had their run in the 90s. But that's it, man. They haven't done jack shit. Broncos lucked out getting Peyton Manning. And we had, 4 years with Peyton Manning? And those were beautiful years. Got a Super Bowl out of it. Went to 2. We don't like to talk about the first one, but we went there. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't see the Cowboys getting any better anytime soon. Not until there's changes with Jerry Jones. And part of that is him taking a step back, him being removed from the equation of the Dallas Cowboys is the first step to success for that franchise. I just don't see him willingly doing that. Hey, real quick, listen up, Denver. Remember this name, Game Time PDR. Game Time PDR is freaking awesome, and they're here to help you if you're one of those people that were hit by those crazy hailstorms back in May. I know that's back in May, but a lot of people are still waiting till the end of hail season, or for whatever reason they're procrastinating. And listen, if you've been in Denver for even just the last 5 years, we have been bombarded by hail. And it's hard to find out who's the best option to take your vehicle because you need somebody trustworthy, a repair shop that you can trust to take your vehicle and do it the right way. Well, that team is Game Time PDR, and they're Denver based and women run. Yes, because I met the lady that runs the place, Aisha. She is awesome. And listen, she's going to make sure that everything is running smooth. They specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle and restores the value back into your vehicle. To celebrate the end of hail season, and all you procrastinators out there, that's fine. I don't judge you. They are offering a $200 gift card just to get your vehicle fixed. And you know what? Game Time PDR has an expert claims specialist on staff to take the hassle out of dealing with the insurance claims and make it a seamless process. Game Time PDR is going to pay your deductible up to $1,000, but they need to see your vehicle in order to qualify. They're able to pay your deductible because they work and advocate for their customers first before the insurance company. Game Time PDR's expertise and experience are unmatched. They have over 30 years of experience in the industry, and they have some of the best technicians on the fucking planet. Call Anthony right now, 303-955-8200. Again, 303-955-8200 to schedule an evaluation. It's Game Time PDR, the MVP in dent repair. And real quick, it just kind of a PS on the Game Time PDR. They're doing a food drive this Thursday, November 21st, from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at their location, Game Time PDR, 6825 Broadway in Denver, Colorado. It's really neat that they're going to do this. So join Game Time PDR, the mental health alliance for athletes and members of the Colorado Spartans crew, as they help raise funds and goods to help 2 great nonprofits. Bring a bag of donations for Broomfield Fish and be entered for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Colorado Spartans at home in the 2025 seasons. If you didn't know, the Colorado Spartans, the new arena team, that's pretty cool. So what they need, the items that they need: crackers, cereal, broth and soup, juice, cooking oil, baking items, dry pasta, toothpaste, toothbrushes, condiments, shampoo, ramen, individually wrapped snacks. So again, check them out. It's going to be this Thursday, November 21st from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be at 6825 Broadway in Denver, Colorado. I'm going to try to make it out there. So if you go out there, you got to come say hi, and you're going to see Anthony and the crew. And it's a good time. I'm sure there's going to be some other things to, just hang out, meet some people, meet and greet. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see you there. I should be there. Okay. Listen, don't get on my back. Don't get on my sack if I don't show up, but I plan on showing up. Okay. God, get off my back. You guys are dicks sometimes. Anyway, you know what we need to do right now? Jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Hank the Tank. Who are your top 3 best radio talents in the Denver sports talk scene? That's a good question, because I read that and I'm like, oh God. I'm going to have to. I mean, like, if you're just wanting somebody that is just good and entertaining, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go with this. I'm going to say that my 3 best are because I can stick them in any position and they will be good. They have the ability to be the driver. They also have the ability to be the co-host. And as somebody that produced in Denver for 18 plus years and saw great talent, I've seen terrible talent. I will tell you, if I was in charge, these are the guys that I would definitely want on the roster. I'm going to only give you 3. But that being said, there's so many great talents out there. But again, Hank the Tank said the 3 best. I'm going to start with Mark Mosier. Mark Mosier is also the when I start reading off, you're going to understand. Mark Mosier is the voice of the Colorado Avalanche on television. For several years, he was the radio voice of the Avalanche, but also he's a great co-host. He's strong enough to be the driver as well. He's funny, and he's highly intelligent when it comes to all sports. Even though he's talking and he's deep into the Colorado Avalanche, you can ask him anything about the Nuggets, Avs, Rockies, and he's going to have some intelligent insight, some intelligent conversation with you in regards to it. So he's funny. He's a funny dude, very talented guy. And one time he brought in a guitar, and instead of coming back with rejoin music, he played the rejoin music. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. Huh? Nobody else can do that. Yet the next guy, Mike Evans. And I know some of you might cringe at that. Oh, Mike Evans. Well, here's the thing with Mike Evans. Mike Evans he's sneaky funny. And that goes a long way with me as a listener. I want somebody that is going to entertain me, but he also has the ability to hook me in with intelligent takes, with insight, with just great, like I said, intelligence when it comes to sports. He can talk any sport possible. He can interview anybody. He's just good. And when he's working with other people, he knows how to prop them up so that they can hit a home run. And that's what you want. So there you go with that one. So Mark Mosier, Mike Evans, 2 great. And these aren't in any particular order. And then the last one that's going to rub people a lot of wrong ways. It is. And that's going to be D-Mac. D-Mac is a controversial choice to be in my top 3. But here's the thing. I kind of like with the Mike Evans. I could put him in any position on a talk show, and he's going to nail it. Just like Mike Evans, great driver, but can also be a great co-host. So that's something that is a rare thing. I don't need somebody that is going to be stuck to. Here's the thing with all three of these guys. You can give them a rundown of the show. This is what we're going to talk about today. Each segment, this is what we want to hit on. And what is good about these three guys is they could be talking about something, and with their co-host, something else gets brought up. They can roll with that. They can take a quick detour to discuss whatever was just brought up, whether it's in a comedic fashion or if it's like, whoa, 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 you just said this in regards to that. We need to talk about that real quick because blah, 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 blah. And they can do that. And that's something D-Mac can do as well. He's hilarious. By the way, if you didn't know, D-Mac used to be a stand-up comedian. I believe back in Buffalo when he was going to Syracuse, something like that. In that area, he was a stand-up comedian. Pretty cool, pretty good, background on him. That's why he says a lot of goofy things. He's very creative, and he can roll with the punches. He can dish it out, and he just has some great insight as well. He's another guy. All three of these guys, I could throw basketball, hockey, football, baseball at them, and they would do fine. They would give you some sort of intelligent conversation, something that's going to make you not want to tune away. So Hank, I hope that answers your question. I think they do good. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about music format as far as who's the best talents there. I know there's some good ones, not very many. I'm kind of biased because of being so long in the long talk format. I have a hard time with music talents because some of them, not all of them, but some of them freak out about talking for 2 minutes. And that makes me automatically lose a lot of respect for them. Somebody that's really good, and I've said this for the longest time, Kathy J. Kathy J is on Cozy now. She used to be on KS 107.5, and she was always hilarious. And I would see her in the hallways, and she was the same off air as she was on air, and she would just, she just brightens your day, and she's hilarious. I keep meaning to get her on this show, but she's like one of the busiest people I know. She's always helping out charities and stuff like that. So I don't really have too many as far as the music talents go that I would say that are the best, but I would say definitely, without a doubt, she's my number one. I would have to do a lot of research on who would be number two, number three. But when it goes to the sports talk, I'm definitely going to go with Mosier, Mike Evans, and D-Mac. And I've explained why. You could say somebody else. Let me know. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com. Or you can hit me up on my socials @DeHuffPodcast. What you should do is you should say, oh, OMG, and then you tag people that I didn't have on my list and be like, DeHuff just said you're not even in the top 3 best radio talents in the city, right? They're going to be like, what? Like my buddy Ryan Edwards. Like every now and then I'll tweet at him and just I'll say something like rude because him and I are buddies, but a lot of people don't know that. So I'll be, somebody got, I think it was Zach Seegers, got a job over at iHeart, and I said, hey, congratulations. When you see Ryan Edwards, kick him in the shins for me. And some people were like, what? That's not very nice. Where'd that come from? Like, who cares? Come on. Ryan knows. And if you see Ryan Edwards, just gently touch his shoulder and say, hello, is it me you're looking for? Because that's an ongoing joke with him is Lionel Richie, because Lionel Richie is fucking phenomenal. Anyway, there you go. So those are my top 3. You might disagree. And at the end of the day, it's whoever you like, whoever you tune into, and you're like, okay. Like I always, for the longest time, I wouldn't listen to a full show of Sandy Clough. And then I sat down and produced one of his shows, and it morphed into something that I appreciated. he says a lot of stuff. I had a hard time when he would constantly interrupt people, which is kind of his MO. I believe he's officially retired now, which good for him. But there was times where, I had a hard time with him constantly cutting people off. But when he and I worked together and I produced his show, we came in second for best midday show. Him and I. Uh, I would always do it. He would be serious, and I would try to just be myself. And whenever he would ask me a question, I always remember this. This was an ongoing line I would use with Sandy. He'd be like, "So what do you think of the Broncos, blah, blah, blah?" And he'd be kind of asking me tongue in cheek because he knows that I'm not going to give a legit answer. And I'd be like, "Honestly, Sandy, I blacked out the last 5 minutes. I have no idea what you're talking about." And it's just funny. Or he would ask me a question and I would go to answer it, and then he would continue talking and then kind of reset the question. Then I continue to try to talk. Then he'd continue to ask the question again. I'd be like, "Oh my God, can you just stop talking so I can answer it? Holy crap." And like I loved working with Sandy. Of all the guys I worked with, I would have to say my favorite times were working with Sandy Clough. He's an amazing person. He gets locked in, very serious about sports. He loves sports. And sometimes that can be bad because you can just get so laser focused on your job that you kind of forget about everything around you. But like after I worked with him for so long, it was just like we just established a friendship and we had a good time. DMAC used to always say that he wishes that they would have given Sandy and I more of an opportunity to have our own show together because of just the dynamic. Like he's completely serious where I wasn't. And I would have done that. But the management didn't see it that way. And that's okay. That's okay. Whatever. I'm doing what I'm doing now. I love doing what I'm doing now, working with you guys and having a good old time. Talking about not the same thing over and over again. But yeah, going back to it is just, I have those top three, but then I have Sandy all alone, who is an underappreciated talent in the sense of he wasn't just cerebral as a talent. He wouldn't just give you this great information, this great insight. He would also be, and never got the opportunity unless he was with the right person. Like when he was with me, is I would allow him to be funny and allow him to be entertaining, and we'd go down that path. That being said, the whole show wasn't that way. It was only when it needed to be. So he could be his serious self. And then maybe the last, like, say, 2 minutes of the segment, I'd pop on and dick around with him and we'd have some fun. I thought it worked well to the point where, like I said, we were second place for best midday show at one point. And that was really cool because on the demo that we sent in to the Colorado Broadcasters Association, it was him and I. That's what it was. It was him giving some hard takes and then me chiming in and doing stupid stuff. And it's really neat. So I can sit here and I can give you a breakdown of all the talents that I've ever worked with. But ultimately, if I had the opportunity right now, who would be my number one choice? It would be Sandy Clough. Then I'd probably go into, either Mosier or Evans. I have a hard time working with DMAC, and that's nothing against him. It's just he's such a strong personality, and he sees things so hard his way. It's kind of hard to work with. Nothing against him. It's just our personalities don't work very well together. They do and they don't. In small doses, I think we're good. We're good. Anyway, speaking of good, thank you guys so much for joining the show. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're consuming this. Big thanks to Kirkwall Group. Go check them out at kirkwallgroup.net, as well as Game Time PDR. They're the best. And when you take your vehicle in there, they're going to treat you like royalty. Also, big thanks to Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag. It's the Huff Uncensored. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk